Hello friends, good day. Today we are exactly at Ljubljana airport, and within the next few videos I would like to focus how to fly on category C airports, or more or less few of these airports will be listed as category C, and another airports will be, let's say, close to the category C, but those airports will be tricky to do the approach and landing. So as I said before, we are at Ljubljana airport. Let's jump to the cockpit, and I will put some light on just to see. And let's do some preliminary pre-flight procedure, and just remind you that weather is quite not good. I am not using currently the live weather because I would like to show you how it is when you have really bad weather, and especially for today flight, because today we are going to fly to Innsbruck and make a circle to land for runway 08. Okay, so start with the preliminary. Battery is okay, 22 is the minimum voltage. Guarded position, hydraulic panel set, standby power off, wipers are parked, gear down, and we can put the GPU on bus. Once GPU is on bus, we can perform the fire test. Loop detection test is okay. Warning bell sounds. All lights are okay. Test the bottles. That's fine. Cargo fire test. It's okay. We can go up. PSIU off. IRS is to align. Service interphone off. EC reverser, snow lights. Mag warning, stall warning. It's more or less okay. We have circuit breakers fine on one and two sides. Gear pins, covers, gear, manual extraction, gear door closed. Safety equipment emergency, it's on board, and the Apple documentation as well. Okay, so we can check the weather at Ljubljana. Weather at Ljubljana, it's basically, as I said, QNH 1013 because I have preset weather, and wind, we have 271 3 knots. 271 within 3 knots. Okay. So let's start with the handle the airplane, and we have fuel truck already. Our minimum block fuel for today's flight is 4,400 kilograms. As the weather is really bad, I put 1 ton extra, which is approximately 30 minutes of holding, and our alternate airport is Munich. So start refueling. Let the crew advise that the refueling is in progress, and go through the pre-flight procedure. Fuel damper is on. Galley power. This all is okay. Today we have flight level 300. I think it will be a very short flight, but that is just for purpose, for demonstration purpose. Okay, start switch is fine. Auto brake to RTO. Now VHF now setting we are not discussing because we are not flying on WATSIM. Online weather transponder is on standby mode, and that's okay. So we can fill up the FMC. We put Ljubljana airport, and we are currently on the stand number 34. Number 34, position is confirmed with the gate position. So Ljubljana, Innsbruck, activate, execute, departure. Departure we have to Gamix point, and Gamix point we should have, according to our wind conditions, use runway 30, but I guess yet it's Gamix as well. Okay, we will check it with the chart, which one best suit for us. Ljubljana departure Gamix 1 Juliet, for example. This is quite nice departure. I like it, so I will take it directly. And it is Gamix 1 Juliet. Okay. Today we have Echo Sierra Kilo 101 call sign. Cruising level is 300. The wind is blowing at our cruising level at 319/30. Transition altitude is 10,500. This is important. ISA deviation is +7, that means -38 should be our top of climb ISA. Cost index we have for today flight 48. It's quite high and it's raining showers. If it is bumpy, we will change our speed. We have FMC reserve 2.3 and our alternate is Munich Airport. Okay, let's do the light test. Light test is okay. We will set QNH. As we have default preset weather, QNH should be 1013. Acceleration altitude for our engine out procedure, which we don't have basically, it's 2000 feet. Okay, it's 2000 feet. What happens? Okay, we have fuel on board. We may release the trucks, waiting for the touching the hose, and let cabin crew know that fueling is completed. And we can put the fasten belts to on position, and we may start, in this case, boarding if the cabin is ready. So we can start the board, put the APU to get a fresh air, and continue with our flight preparation. The first radial which are going to fly is 268, sorry, master caution, flight directors on, pilot flying side on, pilot monitoring side slave off, on, but it's not master, and flight level 120. Flight level 120, 286 again. That's fine. Check the oxygen. Artificial horizon disarm. It's quite fine. Parking brake is set. weather radar we have inoperative. In this case I will not go because we have the rain showers, but we can skip it for flight simulator purposes. Stop trim on guarded position, and 117.2 is Ljubljana VOR on now setting number 1, and in case of relanding we will use ILS runway 11, which is 303, and frequency is 110.5. 0.5. We have NDB 296. On active site, so put it like this. Okay, now we can do the pre-flight checklist. Once the pre-flight checklist is complete, we may start the boarding, start the loading the baggage, checked baggage. I'm doing it like the way as much to the aft cargo in order to reduce fuel consumption, and the lower number should be in forward compartment, but this is my personal experience how much to load to aft cargo and how much to load in the forward cargo. If you are not aware, always check your weight and balance manual. Okay, I assume we have APL available, so AP on bus. It's on good quality. We will wait 1 minute just to stabilize the APU and extend the life of the APU, and after 1 minute we can put it on bus. We will see what will be our taxi routing. Just to be prepared, runway 34 is self-maneuvering via Echo Papa and Alpha, I guess all the way down to runway 30 A-firm. That's it. Okay, this one Gimox 1 Zulu is RNAV departure. And what the chart says again, SID requires minimum climb gradient of 11.3 up to 10,500 due to airspace restrictions. If unable to comply, advise ATC prior to startup. Oh well, I can see, but in this case we are going directly to the hills, so I will put full thrust. If it is not enough, I will put on one limit page maximum continuous thrust, and I'm pretty sure that we can make it. Okay, ground power we can release. We have 96 packs on board, that's quite okay. And baggage is loading. Okay, aft cargo compartment is already fully forward as well. Today the things are going really quick, so we are good to go. And as I said before, I will use full thrust, flaps 1, because the runway length is long enough, and with the flaps 1 settings we have higher climb gradient. What is important to put it correct weather. However, we don't have the performance calculations, so this will be unbalanced takeoff. And what I check now, right now, is what will be our acceleration altitude if there are any noise abatement procedures. So let's go briefly through it. Noise abatement. Okay, and it's nothing stated here. Non-schedule APU using low visibility. Radar vectors, runway separation minima. It's okay. Arrival, nothing. Departure, engine anti-ice. We don't care about it basically. Pushback taxi, noise abatements. It just says that it's valid for our airplane. The noise conditions. But there is nothing special in ADP 1 or 2 we should use. In this case basically okay. We will leave it like 3000 acceleration altitude and 1500 it will be our climb reduction altitude. Okay, WISP it's 131. Put autopilot to arm position, and now we are good to start. The APU, fresh air. Okay, I will release the stairs. Wait for disconnecting. That's perfect. Okay, we can contact the ground personnel. And we can do the before stop procedure to line. It's okay, ask for the clearance. Anti-collision lights on, start the block time, engine start procedure, and start engine number 2. And we will start our preparation after flight level 1, after passing flight level 100 during the climb, because Innsbruck in real life it's a really tricky airport, and we don't have as much information as possible for this particular airport. You will receive all the documentations if you are going to fly there by Austro Control Civil Aviation Authority, and in real life you need to pass your exams on full flight simulator with visual scenery. So just for a fun, we are going flying to Innsbruck, and I will show you as close as possible how real world procedure look like. Okay, well, once again, nav setting 117.2, 117.2, and in approach GT is rising, oil pressure N2 is fine. Regarding to the approach, two nine six is okay, and 110.5 is okay, 110.5 is okay. So basically this is okay. Starter is cut out. We have two good stable engine. Ground personnel should disconnect from the headset, and we will set flaps 1 and start the procedure. Check the isolation valve, it's okay. Start switches to continuous, and we'll check the hydraulic, it's okay. So APU coming off, blanking lower display unit recall checked, and we are good to taxi. Okay, we have some, let's say, fill truck, or it looks like the garbage truck. Okay, man, my man, what are we going to do? Oh, it's bus. Disregard. Assume the cabin is ready, weather radar on my side, reset the fuel, terrain on pilot monitoring side, and cabin crew departure position. I just check it through the page. We are going through the nanit. This is never-ending taxi. We can pick up the Charlie. Okay, so briefing, flaps 1 green light, stabilizer trim, 5.5 unit set. We have left side clear, right side is clear. Put the lights on. Transponder to TARA. Start the flight time. And once we stop on the runway, do not put the parking brake. It's not a good idea. Okay, so we start to turn as possible with max 220. Anyway, let the engine stabilized. Put the LNAV there to work for us. Engine is stable, takeoff. Eighty knots checked. We wanna rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Okay, LNAV is already there. In case the flight directors are showing you more than pitch attitude of 20 degrees, do not go above there. We have climb thrust anyway, and we can start to accelerate our airplane. So back up. Assume we are clear to flight level 150, for example. And we can do the flaps up. There is flaps up, no light. We can go to VNAV and autopilot engaged. Once VNAV again, sorry. Okay, landing gear up and off, auto brake off, start switch is back to off position. Okay. Really nice weather, but we can go with the level change and speed 250 or 240 because we already passed our initial turn. And we are continuing climbing flight level 300. Okay, flight level 100. Lights are going off. This is okay. A little bit warm up the cabin. And we may release the fasten belts. Transition altitude set standard. Altimeters cross check, everything is fine. And what I can do now, we just make we're just going to do Our pre-flight, approach preparation for Innsbruck. Okay, what we need to realize is our runway is 2000 meters long, and especially runway 08, we can be high, we can overshoot the center line, we can be unstabilized, which is not good. So in our case, I will recommend to use auto brake 3 and thrust reverse according to the conditions. The auto brakes always monitor the deceleration regardless of your thrust reverse setting. It is crucial to use high thrust settings during your landing in hot summer airports like in Greece islands, in order to do not have so much brake temperature and to make a let's say quick go around turn around. With the chart we are proceeding via an unit point. I will put it right there. Okay, departure Nanit to Alpha and localizer DME East. Transition is via Rattenberg. All we have pre-selected. It's pretty fine. Nanit is 15,000 and QNH is 1013. So page 1013. I will leave the forecast page as it is because we are not using live weather, and transition flight level should be above flight level 160 because Nanit is 15,000 feet. That means that our flight level transition should be higher. I put 160. This part is prepared. Another part is basically the approach, localizer DME East. And what does it set for us? Final approach course 254. We have +1 degree, so engine anti-ice on. Two five four. That's okay. And what is the next? 11-1. For our misapproach procedure, first radio now is NDB Romeo Uniform Mike Room VOR, NDB 320. Another NDB is Rattenberg 303. Okay, we have pre-selected in on navigation display. As there are zero wind conditions, we are going to use flaps 40. So we burn 600 of kilograms. Our landing gross weight in this case will be 52.6 tons, and we apply no VRF additive, so 120.130 is basically okay. That's fine. What we have? Our minimums should be according the table. Be aware of the fact that the glide path, I am not telling glide slope. Remember, there is a difference. I'm talking about glide path. It's 3.7. It's basically 4 degree steep angle. So I would like to be stable at least with the flaps 10 on DME 19 in order to make this steep approach stabilized. Puppy we have on the left side, and important part is visibility 5000 meters, and for the visual misapproach climb gradient should be 3300 with 5 degrees and 4000 3700 and 3300 for 3% and 4900 MDA for standard misapproach procedure 2.5%. Okay, but anyway, we are using visual chart, and visual approach chart says that our minima from 11-1 chart should be anyway 3700 feet, because we are going to follow the prescribed track, which is 3700 all the way here. What we can do, we can put into we have 1000 to level off, and RVSM was checked already. Okay, leave it a little bit shallower. Put into fixed page, or let's say start with the legs page and put there Oscar Echo Victor 074, which is outbound, and 4.2. This is our starting waypoint to turn into the heading 230. Just put it here, do not execute, and put it into the fixed page. Within the fixed page we put radial 230 from this point, and just not overshoot this closed terrain. I put, as remember, Innsbruck. Fancy speed, we have enough path. Innsbruck NDB and 264. Another part is X-Alm Church. If we don't see it, the last remember for us is DME 3.5 from Oscar Echo Victor. So Oscar Echo Victor, again ILS DME and 3.5 circle. Well, everything should be prepared, and we may start descending. Airplane status is okay, and we just can discuss the hold fuel. For example, overhead Rattenberg, we have holding fuel available for 1 hour approximately. That's quite okay. Okay, we can start descent. and our grid altitude is 15,000 feet, which is the non-hit point, so we can go to flight level 160. 160, descent now, and I will be adjust a little bit this flight path to put the turbulent penetration airspeed, and because we are entering the cloud conditions and we are near the high mountains terrain, it should be as well the mechanical turbulence. This orthophoto, let's say, Bing maps are really perfect in some areas. Okay, engine anti-ice I put for time being off, because we are out of the clouds. And as we enter the clouds, we will see if we are using them back again. And we can put, for example, flight level 2 to 0 and end with 4,000 feet. Okay, as you can see that we are high because idle thrust with engine anti-ice on, it's more than idle thrust without using engine anti-ice. Okay, we can go down to 15,000 feet by QNH 1013. Again, altimeter set and cross check. Approach checklist is okay. Once again, recall, it's fine. And we put the speed brakes in order just to keep the airplane going down. I thought he can make it, but as I can see, okay, entering the clouds, -2 degrees centigrade, once again. Engine anti-ice is okay. Okay, we have 240 below flight level 100. I always have the low FPS in Innsbruck, no matter if I am flying on X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know why. I am fully aware of the fact that I have DSL internet connection, very poor connection. That's why my videos might be blurry or maybe stuttering, but basically I can do nothing with it. Okay, so fasten belts on, just to let the cabin crew prepare cabin for the landing. Engine anti-ice off. Speed brake stowed. We can go down to Rattenberg, which is 9,500 feet. And I will put the level change and start the decelerate. Speed 240. I will use a little bit speed brakes. Okay, we are back on profile, which is quite fine. And I would like to be stable about the final approach fix, which is Foxtrot 26 waypoint. We'll try to do VNAV. MC speed VNAV path. Speed intervention will lead us back to the VNAV speed, which I don't want to use. Okay, flaps 1. The reason why I would like to be stabilized as soon as possible is because in real life this airport is really tricky, and especially when you have heavy airplane with tailwind conditions, it's hard to decelerate the airplane, especially on 3.7 glide path. It's basically unable. Flaps 5, and we can make start our turn to Advik point. Okay, we are back on VNAV path, so we may decelerate. If the deceleration is not working as we expected, we can put flaps 10. And we will see during the glide slope if this deceleration is okay with us. I forget to put the minimum descent altitude, which is 3,700 feet. I will leave it at speed 170, we will see how the airplane will handle with this situation. Armed localizer for our approach. Watch the temperature as we are entering the clouds. And leave it on heading select. A little bit like this one. In order not to overshoot the localizer course, I will make it a little bit shallower. Okay, localizer we have captured, and heading means the projecting is 254, and I will pre-select it once we have enough altitude, or let's say 3700. Well, in real life, if I have the copilot, I will put it, as you can see on the chart, I will put it 8700 up to DME 17. He will read the chart and read the DME distances, then put 14 DME 7500 and go like this all the way down. This is the correct procedure. But anyway, we are a flight sim, so I put directly 3700, which is our MDA. Okay, we will follow next this procedure, so I will prepare this chart for it. As you can see, we have rain showers in front of us. With the flaps 10 airplane is not accelerating that much, but in real life we always use the flaps 10 for descent, for approach. Flaps 5 is not enough. Within flaps 5 the airplane, I am pretty sure, will be accelerating. We will be not unable to keep the speed. Okay, this is our point which we put on the fixed page, and we will start with this point to follow our prescribed tracks. Everything is fine. I forget to put the lights on below flight level 100, or let's say in this case below 10,000 feet. That's why we are two on board. Just to remind, hey man, put the lights on. Starts raining. Temperature is 11, so we can skip the engine anti-ice for these times, and we try to decelerate the airplane for our visual circle prescribed track. It's a little bit bumpy. 1000 to level off. We are slightly approaching our MDA, and the approach light systems is inside for runway 27, it's okay. And now we are approaching MDA, so approaching minimums. We are on minimums, and we can see the visual part is okay for us, so we can continue. In this case, I put heading select on heading 230, altitude hold. This is important, and I set missed approach altitude 9500 feet. Put gear down, flaps 15, start switches to continuous and cabin crew departure position. As you can see, we are visually, but it's not so good. Anyway, we put in the page, departure arrival page, runway 08, 3 degrees of angle. Well, it's not working. We will try it like this one, that's okay. And on Lex page, put it extended center line, just to be prepared. You can see the extended center line is right over us. So if we are going to do the bulk landing procedure, we will strictly follow the radio navigation R8 to Rattenberg and DB. Okay, we may disregard this. And we are approaching the power lines, so 264, and waiting for X alarm church. In real life, we will put final flap setting during our turn, but I don't have the copilot, so I will configure the airport for final landing configuration right now. So going through flaps 25, because we are using flaps 40. And flaps 40 is already there, so 130, to be precise 129 are indicated. In this stage I will disconnect the autopilot. I will recycle the flight director switches, deselect the speed and put the heading, means the approach heading, which is 080 approximately. That's it. The X-alarm church should be somewhere below us, so we can make to start our final turn. Be aware that in this valley there are as well the power lines, which should be depicted somewhere over there. So I would like to see if there are modeled here in Flight Simulator. They aren't there. And watch the trend vector. I have poor FPS in Innsbruck, so I'm deeply apologize for this situation. Follow the trend vector, and we are a little bit high. So I will go down. As you can see, we are high above the profile. So I will go down, more down. but we can make it from this. Okay, we are back on profile, on short final. We are stable. Okay, now we are on the ground. Speed brake up, revers are normal. And manual braking, 60 knots, closing the revers. And we can vacate via first. Stop the flight time. Stop the speed brakes. Lights coming off. APU switch on. And we can do the after landing procedure. It's okay, and transponder should be standby 2000 and trim back to 5 units. Okay, we are approaching some stands. Default scenery, so no stand markings over here. So I will turn it right here. Okay, stop the airplane. In real life we will wait a little bit to cool down the engines because it was short taxi and we used the full reverse to vacate via Bravo. But as we are on sim, we can shut down the engines. So, auto brakes, parking brakes are on, GPU on bus, and now we can shut down the engines. Flight directors coming off. Speed back to 100, stop the block time, release the packs, anti-collision lights off below 10%, and electric hydraulic pump switch is off, and we can put the fresh air to the cabin. IRS is off, standby power is off, we can perform the checklist, and yes, that's it. Parking brake off. We can see brake temperature is quite okay. We may ask for stairs, passengers bus, and baggage loader, and ERS is back to align, and in this case we are fully ready to perform another pre-flight procedure checklist and walk around and make a turnaround to another destination, or let's go back to Ljubljana.